Have you ever felt like your old self is holding you back from achieving the success you deserve? What if I told you that to truly win in today's competitive world, you must betray who you once were? Today, we're diving deep into a provocative, Machiavellian-inspired perspective on personal transformation and power. This video explores the controversial idea that true success requires the strategic abandonment of outdated values, emotional attachments, and a fixed self-image. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly climb to the top while others struggle? The secret might lie in their willingness to betray their former selves, not out of malice but out of necessity for growth, power, and effectiveness. By investing your time in this detailed exploration, you'll gain a nuanced understanding of how self-betrayal can be a catalyst for personal transformation. You'll learn practical strategies to shed your old identity and embrace a new, more powerful version of yourself. Let's embark on this journey together, challenging conventional wisdom and uncovering the Machiavellian path to power. Have you considered that your current values might be hindering your progress? Imagine if letting go of those could propel you toward unprecedented success. It sounds radical, but stick with me and you'll see why this might be the truth. First, let's redefine what we mean by betrayal. This isn't about moral failure or deceit. It's about consciously and strategically abandoning aspects of your former identity that no longer serve your long-term goals. To start, let's explore the concept of self-betrayal as growth. This idea redefines betrayal as a necessary step in personal evolution. It's about shedding old beliefs and fears that restrict your potential. Have you ever felt stuck because of your own limiting beliefs? By identifying and discarding these, you create space for growth and new opportunities. Next, we delve into Machiavellian realism. Drawing from Niccolò Machiavelli's philosophy, this concept emphasizes that power is achieved not through virtue, but through strategy, adaptability, and manipulation of perception. Think about historical figures who rose to power not by always playing by the rules, but by being adaptable and strategic in their actions. They understood that effectiveness often trumps traditional notions of morality. This brings us to the third core concept, image versus identity. In the pursuit of power, external image and outcomes matter more than internal intentions or moral self-conception. Have you ever noticed how influential people often project a specific image that aligns with their goals, regardless of their personal feelings? This strategic presentation can be more impactful than genuine intentions. Moving forward, emotional detachment is crucial. To achieve power, you must silence emotions like guilt, fear, and sentimentality that hinder strategic action. Emotional detachment allows for clearer, more effective decision-making. Have you ever hesitated to make a tough decision because of fear or guilt? By detaching from these emotions, you empower yourself to act decisively and strategically. The fifth concept is reinvention through destruction. Personal reinvention requires the symbolic death of your past self, values, and limitations. This destruction is necessary to build a stronger, more powerful identity. Have you ever felt the need to start fresh, leaving behind old habits and beliefs? This process of destruction and rebuilding is pivotal for transformation and dominance. Now that we've covered the core concepts, let's talk about actionable steps you can take to implement these ideas in your life. Audit your identity. Start by identifying which parts of your self-image are rooted in fear, outdated beliefs, or cultural conditioning. Discard these elements to pave the way for growth. Have you ever taken a moment to reflect on which of your beliefs are truly yours and which are imposed by external factors? This audit is the first step toward authentic transformation. Prioritize strategy over sentiment. In decision-making, ask yourself, does this serve my long-term goals? Rather than, does this feel right? This shift in mindset ensures that your actions are aligned with your strategic objectives rather than being driven by fleeting emotions. Detach from approval seeking. Stop needing to be liked or morally validated by others. Focus on outcomes, not opinions. Have you ever compromised your goals just to gain someone's approval? Detaching from this need empowers you to pursue your true objectives without unnecessary distractions. Embrace discomfort as a signal. If change feels like betrayal, you're likely on the right path. Use discomfort as a marker of growth. When faced with challenging changes, recognize that discomfort is a natural part of the transformation process. Embrace it as a sign that you're moving forward. Reframe betrayal. View self-betrayal not as abandonment, but as an intentional act of transformation and self-mastery. Changing your identity is a strategic move towards mastery and power, not a betrayal of who you once were. Have you ever felt conflicted about making a significant change? Reframing this as a strategic transformation can help alleviate that internal struggle. Let's deepen our understanding with some additional insights. Historical context. Throughout history, many figures rose to power not by staying virtuous, but by being adaptable and strategic. Their willingness to betray their former selves was key to their success. Nature. Analogies. Consider the snake shedding its skin or the phoenix rising from ashes. These metaphors illustrate how transformation often involves destruction before rebirth. Rejection of sentimental morality. The idea that losing with integrity is noble is challenged by the argument that history often forgets the virtuous losers. In a ruthless world, effectiveness and results matter more. The myth of authenticity. Modern obsession with being true to yourself is critiqued here. Authenticity without effectiveness is seen as a liability rather than an asset. Have you ever struggled with balancing authenticity and effectiveness? This perspective suggests that strategic adaptability can enhance your power and success. Now, let's engage in some critical analysis of these ideas. Underlying assumptions. This philosophy assumes the world is inherently competitive, ruthless, and indifferent to virtue. It posits that moral values can often be tools of control or self-sabotage. Have you ever felt that traditional moral values might be limiting your potential? This perspective challenges you to rethink the role of virtue in achieving success. Potential biases. The approach heavily leans on Machiavellian realism, potentially underestimating the long-term value of trust, collaboration, or ethical leadership. There's also a risk of confirmation bias, selecting only historical examples that support the thesis. It's important to consider both the strengths and limitations of this approach. How do you balance strategic adaptability with maintaining meaningful relationships and trust? Commercial bias. While no direct product is pitched, the intense rhetoric may be designed to provoke emotional engagement, possibly to drive future content consumption. Reflecting on this can help you approach the content with a critical mindset, understanding the intent behind the messaging. Logical flow and structure. The argument is highly structured, progressing from emotional provocation to philosophical framing, historical justification, and practical implications. It uses escalating intensity and repeating core themes to reinforce the message. But be cautious of circular logic, such as, if you feel betrayed, it must mean you're growing, which may not hold under rigorous scrutiny. Now, let's examine the writing style of this philosophy. Tone and mood. The tone is authoritative, intense, and confrontational. The speaker challenges the audience aggressively, bordering on militant in encouraging self-transformation. Diction and vocabulary. The language is philosophical and strategic, with frequent use of terms like transformation, strategy, identity, power, and betrayal, giving the content an intellectual and high-concept feel. Syntax and pacing. The script employs short, punchy sentences interspersed with longer, reflective monologues. The deliberate pacing builds tension before delivering decisive statements. Rhetorical devices. Repetition is used effectively. Phrases like betray yourself, kill your old self, and the old you must die drill the central theme. Metaphors involving fire, war, kings, and rebirth dramatize internal change, while contrast and juxtaposition highlight the differences between comfort and power, integrity and results. Have you ever used repetition and metaphors to emphasize key points in your own communication? These devices can make your message more impactful and memorable. Audience engagement. The direct address, you, and inclusive language, we, draw the viewer in, creating a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose. The content assumes the audience is ambitious, possibly disillusioned with traditional self-help, and seeking power or transformation. Have you ever felt that conventional self-help advice doesn't address your deepest ambitions? This philosophy speaks directly to those looking for a more profound and strategic approach to personal growth. Credibility notes. The speaker references Machiavelli, interpreting his philosophy through a modern self-help lens. However, there are no direct historical citations or empirical evidence provided, positioning the content as philosophical and motivational rather than academic. It's essential to balance motivational content with credible sources to enhance trust and reliability. Confidence score high. Confidence in the interpretation of Machiavellian themes, though it's important to remain critical and consider multiple perspectives. Have you ever embraced a philosophy wholeheartedly without examining its full implications? Balanced confidence can lead to more well-rounded and effective personal strategies. In conclusion, applying a Machiavellian-inspired approach to personal transformation involves a strategic betrayal of your old self to unlock true power and effectiveness. This journey is not without its challenges. Transformation is often painful and requires a steadfast commitment to your long-term goals. But remember, the greatest obstacle is often internal. Your outdated identity, shaped by fear and external expectations, can be your biggest hindrance. Betraying that self is the beginning of true freedom and power. So, are you ready to challenge your old beliefs, shed your former identity, and embrace the Machiavellian path to power? It's a journey that demands courage, strategic thinking, and an unwavering commitment to your ultimate success. Have you made the crucial decision to prioritize effectiveness and power over comfort and tradition? The choice to betray your old self might just be the key to unlocking your full potential. Let's recap the key points we've covered today. We explored the necessity of self-betrayal for personal growth, the importance of prioritizing effectiveness over virtue, and the need for emotional detachment in strategic decision-making. We also delved into the concepts of reinvention through destruction and the significance of adaptability in achieving power. Remember, real transformation feels like betrayal because it involves breaking old patterns and shedding comfort. But it's the only path to dominance and true freedom. By auditing your identity, prioritizing strategy, detaching from approval, seeking, embracing discomfort, and reframing betrayal, you can embark on a journey of profound personal transformation. As you move forward, consider this thought-provoking question: what are you willing to betray in your current self to achieve the success you desire? Reflect on this and let it guide your strategic actions toward power and effectiveness. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to subscribe for more thought-provoking content on personal development and power dynamics. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How do you view self-betrayal in your journey to success? And be sure to watch our next video on mastering strategic adaptability for unstoppable growth. Thank you for watching, and remember, true power begins with the courage to betray your old self.